right.
We back.
We back. All right. It's popping. So
Smoky whiskey.
I don't know if we call this episode 5 or what should we call it, because we're starting like a mini podcast series where we just, how should we explain it?
I think
shorter clips.
Yeah. I guess
get to the point about a subject quicker.
Over like interesting topics, I suppose.
Right.
So in this one, we'll be talking about the social dilemma.
Yeah, it's a very big dilemma in society right now.
Very, very large dilemma. Something that we felt should be talked about in summarized into a dumbed down version, so you don't have to watch the full movie. Even though you should definitely watch the full movie.
Yeah. Watch the full movie. It's very enlightening.
Very.
It was the best hour and a half I've spent in a long time because it was so informational.
Yeah, I deleted Snap after watching it.
Yeah.
I actually saw your story. I was like, okay, he's taking it seriously. No, I think what the movie really does is that it really puts into perspective a problem that a lot of people on the surface are aware of, but they don't really know the full extent of it.
Correct.
Because just the nature of social media in general. Like before I knew anything about like the problems that the social dilemma puts forward, like I kind of had a suspicion. I was like, okay, this doesn't really seem right. Like all these likes and stuff, like it just seems like it's hurting people. But I never really knew why. Like I didn't like it, but now I kind of know.
They put it in better words,
right?
For sure. Like
exactly.
Before you're just kind of, you're not really aware. You can like tell that something's off about social media and like, why am I drawn to this? Why do I feel like the phone is a part of me?
Right, you are one with
like,
the phone.
Right, you and your phone are like morphed together. You don't feel right when it's not
you can't leave
you.
without your phone in your hand.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, part of you knows that's wrong, but you just can't act on that. I feel like because you need to know the psychology behind why it's so addictive.
Exactly.
And then you can fully understand.
It feels normalized, I think. That's why. Because we're like, well, everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
So like, why?
Yeah.
It is normalized, but it's really, we need to like unnormalize that.
Yeah, dude, that's what
because it's really fucked up.
Yeah, I think that's what we should try to do. And like, I posted a video today. I was like, you should definitely delete Snapchat. Well, in my opinion, because I was like addicted to it, like straight up. Like, my subconscious would like pick up my phone and I'd be on Snapchat for like 20 minutes watching those fucking stories, and then I would close out of Snapchat just to open it again, like instantly.
Yeah, and I think Snapchat especially, like the For You page on Snapchat is just like a cesspool. Like that is information that no one ever needs to know. Like if you are watching For You stories, you are just wasting your time.
You just get sucked into that trap though. And
right.
it's addictive. I mean, like it's down the rabbit hole you go. So you're just constantly scrolling. Oh, epic fail. New like video about a dog getting saved or something. Like you really don't need to be watching this type of stuff.
Right.
Like, you could do other things with your time.
Yeah, it's crazy how much they know about you though. They know what is going to keep your attention to keep you.
Right.
How much of your life can you give to that app? Because
that is the algorithm.
They're all fighting for your attention, so they have to hack your psychology.
Right.
And it's just fucked, to say the least.
Yeah, so basically, to explain the algorithm a little bit, it's this computer-based technology that understands like what you watch the most and what you spend the most time like liking, what pages you're on, and it can sense what apps you use, the timing of the apps, and it like puts all of this into a database to figure out the best types of videos, ads, and stuff like that to throw at you to get you a little bit more hooked. Like how can we trigger this person's dopamine levels a little bit more to get them to spend more time and more of their life donating that like on the app.
And you wonder how these ginormous tech companies make all their money, and it's because you are the product.
Yeah, exactly. I think kind of just to elaborate on that, the way these companies make money is by ad revenue because you don't have to pay for the service. So what the algorithm's main goal is to get you to spend as much time on the platform as they possibly can, because the more time you're on there, the more ads in turn like they can show you, and the more ad revenue they can make off that. And the longer you're on it, the more likely you are to get your friends on it. So I think the problem with the algorithm in specific is like what its end goal is. Like, it's not obvious that spending as much time as an algorithm can make you spend on social media, like that's not good for you. Like clearly that's not good for you. And I think what would help is the algorithm. I mean, I just have surface level knowledge of like what the algorithm actually is. Like I know what its goals.
Right, surface level knowledge.
Right,
Like,
but
we're
I
all
think
not experts.
Right. I think the algorithm needs to be like rewritten in a way where it takes into consideration like the wellness of human beings. Like Tristan Harris, that's his name, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what he was saying in his presentation is that the algorithm needs to be humane technology, not like impersonal technology, like almost like devious technology, like how they
insensitive,
like how they picture it in the social dilemma. Yeah. I mean, in some ways, like that's what they are. I think, I don't know, this is kind of a segue to a different topic, but one of the things that in the social dilemma that really struck me was I always thought of social media as a tool. Mm-hmm. But it's really not that at all. No. Because a tool doesn't have its own goals. Like a tool is, if you're not using a tool, like it's just sitting there. Like a tool's not trying to manipulate you in any way. Like it's not doing any of that extra shit. It's just there. And when you're not using it, it's just not there.
Like a hammer or a screwdriver.
Right.
It's just there until you need it. But your phone, you just feel an attachment.
Yeah.
And it's like deep. It's like deep embedded within you. It is. Within you, it is a habit, and dude,
like it's not
just,
like
it draws you.
Right, it's not a tool. Like it's actually manipulating you. Like you get manipulated by social media. Like
it's
you
changing
don't like
you. It's literally changing you.
Like you are not the one in charge when you go on Facebook or Instagram. Like you are not deciding what you see.
Right.
I mean, you are to a certain degree, but really you're not in control of that.
Mm-hmm. And to like see how this truly affects you, I would suggest for someone to take a step back from their phone and just quit social media for like a couple hours even, and like feel the feelings that are hitting you. Like you will get hit with some nasty feelings, like you'll just get this feeling of
an urge to get to your phone.
Right.
You're like, okay, so someone probably texted me. I need to go look. Someone probably Snapchatted me.
And you can have the fear of missing out too.
Yeah, FOMO hits hard.
Yeah.
The dopamine detox. I'm pretty sure I heard that term from you originally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of you two.
Yeah, that was like, it was kind of tough, which upset me, because like it shouldn't be tough, but it's probably tough for everybody. So I was just like, whatever.
Right.
Doing it more often, making it more prevalent in your life is definitely clears your headspace. You kind of realize you get your priorities straight. You realize what you need to actually spend your time on, and not just fucking Snapchatting people pictures of your face. Like, how the fuck is that benefiting?
It's just pointless.
Yeah,
it's so pointless half the time.
I mean,
but Snapchat does such a good job because those streaks, people care about their streaks, their memories.
Exactly.
And they come up every day, like your old ones, making it just you look in the past, which isn't going to help you out at all.
Yeah,
it's just
like, I mean, just to kind of like elaborate on that, like there's actually like focus groups of people where their entire job is to try to reverse engineer human psychology to like literally hack your brain to make you spend more time on the product.
Who can get to the bottom of the brain stem?
Right. Yep. That's exactly what Tristan says.
You know?
That's exactly what it is.
I mean, what you kind of just said is how it affects people on the individual level, but I think on the collective level too, like a lot of the polarization in society is because of these exact things. Like, what honestly blew my mind when I was watching it is you get different Google auto suggestions when you search depending on where you live. Like, I never thought of that, but it makes sense. Like, depending on where you are, you see certain things. Like, it's almost like what the platform does is pigeonhole certain people in certain areas into thinking certain things. And if you like, oh my goodness,
they control what you think, pretty much.
Yeah, dude, the analogy where they said that like each person's social media universe is its own individual Truman Show. Like, that's crazy.
God.
That's why we're so divided more than ever.
Right.
Because you have these Democrats and you have these Republicans, and both of them are getting further away from each other because social media is in a way constricting what they see. So now they only hear, like, if I'm on the Democratic side, I'm only hearing Democratic things for the most part.
Yeah, you're never hearing.
So I'm not hearing the other side of the other opinion.
Yeah.
And it's just not giving, like, you can't go through life like that. You need to hear both opinions and then form your own, like, true opinion to yourself.
Exactly.
You need to hear both sides, and it's not allowing people to read both sides.
Yeah, it said something about how, like, everything you see makes it seem that everyone agrees with you. Because it shows you everything that you think. So it shows you people that agree with you. So then
Twitter in a nutshell.
Yeah, Twitter in a nutshell. So it's like, how do you have any chance of getting the other people's perspective?
Yeah.
You don't. You really don't. And they do that intentionally.
Right.
You hear about the Russians, how the Russians hacked the election or whatever?
Yeah.
But they didn't even hack it.
They didn't even hack the election.
They just used Facebook ads and targeted it.
Like
what?
they used real levers that actually exist. Like
Things
they
that
just
you
use
can
them
actually
with
do.
a very
And it's not
purpose.
even that far-fetched of an idea.
Right.
Like anyone could have been and said, "Hey, bro, we could just target Facebook ads in the United States and
Dude, if I
shit up."
had like a couple $1 million, I could have hacked the election.
Yeah, literally, government disposed money. Like you can do anything.
Right.
You could. Oh my god, you can corrupt the whole country, bro.
Exactly.
Which is what they did, legally. It's fucked.
Dude, people so often underestimate like how much power these things have.
Right.
Because like you individually can decide to never go on social media, but most people are not going to do that. Like it's not going away. Like, and that's the point that Tristan Harris makes is as time goes on, technology will become more integrated into our lives, not less. So that's why it's so important that we
get on it early.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh
yeah.
my god, yeah.
Like we have to. These are like big, serious problems. Like
These are the deepest problems, but these are problems beneath all problems.
yeah.
Like social media is the root of most problems in this world.
I think that's pretty accurate. I'd say a lot of problems would exist without social media, but social media is the reason that these problems are so important.
They're
because it's making them
exacerbated,
so
bro.
worse. 100% right. 100% right. I think that kind of reminds me of another point that was made in the documentary that if we can't agree on the facts, then we can never enter into a conversation about what the facts mean.
Yeah.
And you have to have that conversation. Like if you can't even decide on what is the truth, then you can't even get close to deciding where you should like take a society from those facts.
And
like
the computer has no idea what the truth is, so it can just display
the,
whatever.
The computer is just creating these algorithms for you and your device.
I mean,
It's just
the truth
as simple as that.
truth to the computer is what it does to make you spend the most time on the platform. Like that's what the computer's truth is. Like, but that's not the truth of the world. That's not the truth of people. That's not what each individual person's truth should be. Not by any means at all.
Any means at all. Yeah. Should we cash it right there? Because we were trying to keep it short and we ended up going 12 minutes.
Oh,
12 minutes.
yeah.
It's cool though. We went on a little tangent.
It.
We went on a little
We should
tangent.
cash it.
So yeah, there will be many videos that are supposedly short. We like talking, so we'll try to keep it as short as possible so you guys don't get bored. But yeah, if you guys want to hear this in Spotify, it'll be on Spotify as well, or YouTube, depending on what you're listening to.
Right.
So just keep in touch on the socials. I update every day. So
Yeah, feel free to recommend us ideas and topics that you guys would want to hear us
we
talk
read
about.
all
for
the
real.
comments
Definitely.
every
Yeah.
time. Every time, read all the comments. So we appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you next time. That was money. That was money.
We got the